Janice, tell me a little bit about you.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this conversation, Jacqueline. And a little bit about me. I live in Vancouver, BC, Canada, west coast of Vancouver, Canada. And I guess I've been here most of my life. I am a relationship marketing strategist. And what that means is I teach people how to leverage the power of LinkedIn for their businesses, entrepreneurs, business owners, um, uh, commission salespeople. Sorry, I lost my mind for a second. Commission salespeople are mostly, and coaches and speakers, those kind of entrepreneurs. Those are my best clients, and I teach them how to use LinkedIn to build relationships. And then once they are building those relationships, I teach people how to nurture those relationships, take them offline, make them more accessible, and show them that you care by nurturing them through sending cards and gifts. That's really my platform. I'm a teacher by trade. I taught school for a long time, and then I was a corporate trainer. So I teach naturally. That's just who I am. And as evidence that I just taught you something before we got on the conversation here on the recording. So that's who I am.
Terrific. So my first question for you is, where has fear limited your opportunities?
You know, I saw that question, and I think in two places came to mind for me, two parts of my life. The first was when I was a young teacher, and I remember one of my I taught elementary school, and quite a ways in, one of my principals, who became a mentor of mine, he took two or three of us into his office, and he was talking about the path to administration in teaching, and a little bit about it, and was he thought that I had that in me to be an administrator. And I remember being really afraid of that next jump. Also used other things, I think, as excuses. I mean, I left teaching because of the bureaucracy and the political piece that came into the situation here where I live. But I always loved teaching, and the children were, amazing.
Yeah.
But that piece was a fearful jump for me. And so I chose not to do it. I don't know where my life would have been if I'd taken that path, right? The second place that I allowed fear to limit my opportunities, I think, still happens for me on occasion. Because, and you said this earlier, be careful what you wish for, right? I don't know. I think that when I became self-employed, there was a lot of fear because I didn't know how to run a business. Being a teacher and being a trainer, I had things laid out for me, and I just had to go and do my teaching. Mm-hmm. And now running my own business, at first, I didn't know what I was doing in marketing, sales, even the accounting, the budgeting, doing a business plan. Ooh, I hated all of that thought. And there was a lot of fear around it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can completely relate to it. I started my own business with very little background to support it, because it came from a very different place, and figuring all these elements out. Yeah, and can you succeed? Because there's always that fear of failure that sits there. And anyone who takes up being an entrepreneur has to love the challenge and has to love the risk elements, and it's never easy. So here's my next question. What is the greatest contributor to your success?
Being curious and asking questions, and being observant about how other people are doing it. Now, sometimes that can be a detriment too, because it takes me down another rabbit hole every once in a while. Yeah. But seeing the positive role models of other people have really helped me. People I admire, people I've gotten to know, mentors along the way, whether in person or books I've read and that kind of thing. I think that probably is the biggest contributor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's clear you're a lifelong learner, so curiosity is a very big piece of that, and I can relate. It's a very big piece right there. So if you could change anything in the workplace, what would have to happen for you to feel like you've left a lasting legacy? And not necessarily in the workplace, but maybe in the world in general. What would you see as your lasting legacy?
Wow. That's so interesting because I think I don't know that my two daughters even see what I do as valuable. And of course, you want your legacy to, be part of your family legacy in a way too. And I think they probably do, but I don't hear it very often from them. I don't know that they see the value of what I do all the time. I don't know why. I just feel that way. And I think what would have to happen is perhaps for something. I think I don't know. I really don't know, because I think of different milestones along the way that I felt very proud of that contribute towards that legacy. I don't know. I guess for my daughters to acknowledge, that would have to be important to me, to see that they see what I do as valuable, because I help a lot of people, and that's my I guess the thing I love to do the best. So yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but I think it has to do with my girls.
Yeah. Well, there is a piece, that I have daughters too, and they're quite successful in their own right, and I would 100% agree with you that they're not always, forthcoming in terms of go ma,
Yeah. Yeah.
see what happens, and of course, they also know that I am doing some good work, and I'm pretty sure your daughters do too, but not always verbal about it. So, there we are. But yeah, there is a piece about, are we making a difference in the world? And that's really what this is about. So when you think about the next 3 years, Janice, what do you see as your vision for where you're at right now, where you'd like to go? Does that look like?
Well, I think 3 years is a bit real for me. That's good. You didn't say 10 years, because I don't think I've got 10 years left in me. But I think that just to be able to I've just started where I feel like I can ask for help from support people and start to give some of my my tasks over to somebody else and not try to do it all myself. So in the next 3 years, I think what I would love to see is that I have enough training opportunities, teaching opportunities to help enough more people and have the time to do it, because some of those other things are being taken care of. I don't have huge visions of getting on big stages anymore. I don't want to wear high heels anymore. I've done it. I don't want to do that. But what I do want to do is reach more people, perhaps through my podcast, which I didn't mention at the very beginning, that I do have a podcast. It's called Relationships Rule. And I think I'd love for that to get a bigger audience and be able to reach more people that way.
Yeah, that's great. So here's my last question for you is, what is your fearless factor?
I saw that question, and what came to mind was something that I learned in a course I took a while ago from a really great woman who teaches about your sacred gifts. And I think when I learned what my sacred gifts were, and really I knew what they were, it was just validating them, that my fearless factor is in my gifts. And the biggest one for me is wisdom. Having the wisdom of the years of experience in everything I've done, I think that's my fearless factor, because I'm not afraid to say anything anymore. My heart is always on my sleeve anyway. I say what I think. And I think that's my fearless factor.
Well, I think there's something to be said for that. You know, I'm certainly in that category where there is has been a great deal of wisdom acquired, and
Yeah.
you know, we basically are at a point in our lives where we go, you know, I don't really care if you like it or not like it. You know, it is what I believe. It is where I'm coming from, and we do have a lot to offer, and I think that's really important right there. And of course, this
Mhm.
whole video series and these interviews and the book that will be forthcoming as a result of this is really meant to inspire and motivate others who might be thinking about, you know, how do I move forward? Where are the barricades to what I want to be doing? And using your stories and many others like them to truly bring out that inspiration, because we all need inspiration. As you said, you know, you read books and you attend courses and so forth, and all of that is part of the building blocks of who you've become and who you wish to be going forward. So I love what you've just told me, and I think there's stories that, you know, people will hopefully feel that yes, you can do it, you can be fearless, because we all have a fearless factor somewhere. And I'm just delighted that you spending the time with me today to talk about this, Janice. So thank you for that.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.